Okay, so we're looking at the normal distribution here. Now this function that I've talked about that gives you the normal distribution, that's very difficult to integrate to find the area under the curve. Even people studying maths at university would have a lot of trouble integrating that function. So we do tend to use tables to find probabilities. Your calculator can also actually find these probabilities as well. So the tables are on these pages depending which book you've got. And the tables are based on z-scores. So we're specifically looking at the standard normal distribution, where scores are standardized to have a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1. And in a later exercise, we're going to see how to standardize results. Okay, so this is the curve we're looking at. So let's look at this example. For the standard normal distribution, calculate the probability that a z-score is less than 1.3. Okay, so let's have a look at those tables in your book. Okay, so on the first page, these numbers down the left-hand side, they're all negative numbers. We want a positive number, we want 1.3. So we turn the page, we look down the left-hand side for the number 1.3, and this is our answer here, 0.9032. It's 1.30. If we have 1.31, it'd be this number, 1.32, that number. So you can see the numbers on the top row give you the next decimal place. So our answer is 0.9032. Okay, let's write that down. So 0.9032. Now if I was to draw what that looks like on our curve, 1.3, a z-score of 1.3 is about here. So we're looking at this region here, okay? 90% chance it's under that score. Now, to do that in your calculator, now if you have this calculator, I'm sorry, it doesn't do it. If you have the silver calculator, on the other hand, it does. So let's turn that on, and we need to make sure we're in stat mode. So mode 3 for stat. Now this screen, if you enter one of those, that's fine. You don't need to enter one of those. You can just press AC. And then you go shift 1. Okay, 1 just says stat above it, so shift 1. And we want 5 for the normal distribution. And it's this first option here, P, so 1 for P. And we put in our 1.3 value. And you don't need to close the brackets there, it's only one thing in there, 0.9032, same answer. Okay, so that's a pretty useful little trick. When you're doing the exercise, you should do it both ways. Get used to both. Make sure you can do either, okay? Okay, so for our second example, we want the z-score, we want the probability that the z-score is less than negative 2.78. So on our graph, here's our mean, -1, -2, -3. So negative 2.78 is about there somewhere. It's this tiny little chance here. So let's have a look at our table again. So this time we want the table on the first page because we're talking about negative numbers. Okay. What you'll see up here, -3, -2, -2.78. So the answer is 0.0027. Okay. So 0.0027. Now I'm just going to do that one in my calculator as well. Now I've already got this on my screen. If I just press a back arrow, I can delete my last number and put in my negative. You can use the negative button or the minus button. 2.78 equals. Now you'll see the calculator, it's actually gone a little bit further. It's actually gone to 4 significant figures. So it's given us an extra 1/8 on the end as well, okay? The table always just gives you 4 decimal places. Okay, one more. Now, the probability that z is greater than 1.52. Now, because it's greater than, that's a bit of an issue. So here's our mean, here's a z-score of 1, here's a z-score of 2. So 1.52 is about there somewhere. Greater than is up this area here. Okay, so z is greater than 1.52. What we need to do is 1 minus the probability that z is less than 1.52. Now, I want you to look up the 1.52 in the table. I'm going to do it in my calculator, maybe have a go at both. So in the table, for this, you're going to get 0.9357. Okay, look that up, make sure that that's correct. If you do 1 minus that, 0.0643. Now, the calculator has a handy little trick. You could do 1 minus p, so if you wanted to, you could arrow back into that row and go 1 minus, oops, sorry. Arrow should take me, no, it doesn't. Okay, so 1 minus, and put in our number there. So what was that, 1.52? Oops. Okay, I lost my P. Okay, Claire, I ended up turning it off. Okay, 1 minus, shift 1, 5, 1 for P, 1.52, okay? Now, you can see the rounding has happened from the table. The calculator's done it a little bit more accurately. Now, there is another way you can do it on your calculator. If you go back shift 1, 5, you'll see here it says R. Now, R is for greater than. I have no idea why they've used P and R. Well, P is probably probability. But if you press R, then you can just straight put in the 1.52 equals, it gives it very accurately, okay, 0.064256. You can see that rounding there. I've written that down over here as well.